thanks again for joining me on another Supplement Sunderday, where we have been so faithful to get together on either a Saturday or a Sunday to go over and to learn more about a supplement and how they can really benefit our health picture. This has been so much fun. I know you keep hearing me say that, but I wouldn't be continuing to do this if I didn't feel there's a value in it for myself. And I'm hopeful you're finding value in it for you as well. So thanks again for joining me. Let's get into it today. So what are we talking about today? And I know you already know because you've looked at the title. We are talking about proteolytic enzymes. Proteolytic enzymes. Well, what in the world is that, right? Well, let's start with an enzyme, okay? What is an enzyme? Well, an enzyme is something in our body that facilitates countless reactions in our body. Things like digestion, for a real common example, okay? Now the adjective before it, so proteolytic, what does that mean? Well, proteolytic would be specific for protein breakdown. That's what that word means. So that's a proteolytic enzyme, okay? So it breaks proteins down into smaller components. But this is also essential for things like cell division, for things like blood clotting, or immune function, or even protein recycling. So when we talk about digestion or even protein involved in swelling or pain, that's where this all comes into play, okay? All right, next, where is it found? Well, enzymes in the animal realm are made and found in our pancreas and our stomach. But in the plant world, they're also found in plants. So for example, bromelain, okay, that's a specific one that would be plant, but pineapple is rich in this bromelain. Papaya would be another example that's rich in bromelain. Serrapeptase would be another example that would be from the animal realm. So serrapeptase is a bacteria that is found within the GI system of a silkworm, which allows that moth to break out of its cocoon and become a butterfly. So that just shows you how powerful these enzymes are at dissolving proteins. All right, now let's get into how it works. So when we talk about a proteolytic enzyme, another term you may see that is the same thing would be a protease, a proteinase, or a peptidase. So these are all kind of interchangeable terms from what I can find. So what they do, how they work, it takes long chain proteins and then it reduces those to smaller fragments, which we are familiar with as being a peptide. And then to further that, it takes these peptides and breaks them down even to smaller components, which we call amino acids, right? Which are the building blocks of protein. Now, let's talk about what they actually do in our body, because that's what you all want to know, right? What makes these so important? So we touched on digestion already and the improved absorption of protein. So things like pancreatic enzyme replacement therapy, which is a real thing for people that have pancreatic disease, such as pancreatic cancer, such as cystic fibrosis, colorectal or stomach cancer, or post-gastric or pancreatic surgery. This is a real treatment for those problems in the digestive system. Second thing we can talk about, pain and inflammation. So serrapeptase, for instance, this has been found to be very effective after dental extractions to give you pain relief rather than using corticosteroids or narcotics. And it's giving you that same quality of pain relief without the risk. In fact, it's been found to be more effective in lockjaw situations than traditional treatments. And of course, it has a better safety profile. Now, another thing, osteoarthritis pain. It's been studied, well studied for osteoarthritis pain, giving similar effects as our non-steroidals. Diclofenac is one that has been studied specifically, where serrapeptase was more effective than the diclofenac in managing pain associated with osteoarthritis. Another example would be sinusitis, when you're getting that inflammation through the sinus cavities, or post-workout pain, or things like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, or IBD, inflammatory bowel disease, which manifests itself in Crohn's disease or colitis, ulcerative colitis. So it's also effective in those arenas. Fun fact time. So the serrapeptase has been proven to improve the effectiveness of antibiotics when treating Staph aureus. Now, Staph aureus is the most common hospital-acquired problem, infection that this can be a real risk factor for folks that are in the hospital. When serrapeptase has been added along with that antibiotic regimen, the Staph aureus is managed better. It is taken care of quicker and more effectively, and also has been known to improve that whole profile of Staph aureus when you have an antibiotic resistant strain. So that in of itself is pretty fascinating. All right, let's move on. Promoting wound healing. This is another big arena that this has been studied in. So it shortens the recovery time after surgery. Now, serrapeptase has also been shown to be effective in reducing the infection risk post-surgery by inhibiting and destroying a formation of a bacterial biofilm. And one more thing, bromelain, the one we talked about that's coming from a plant source, pineapple, that has been shown when used topically to be a safe and very effective way to remove damaged tissue from things like scar tissue or burns. Any type of wound healing for that matter. And fourth, this is also ongoing in studies when it comes to cancer. So very promising research is being done in the realm of cancer fighting properties. So bromelain, for example, is being studied specifically in stomach cancers and colon cancers where it is inhibiting cell growth and actually inducing cell death of these cancer cells. So that to me is very fascinating. All right, now let's talk about some precautions. Well, stomach upset. Anything that has to do with our digestive system could also cause us any type of stomach issues. So that would be one precaution. Also, it's important to remember that this can have blood thinning properties, okay? So antiplatelet properties. So if you are on a blood thinning med, or if you have a blood clotting disorder, you'd for sure want to be talking to your doctor or pharmacist about supplementing with bromelain or serrapeptase or any proteolytic enzyme for that matter. And another thing, you'd need to be cautious with the bromelain because it can increase the sedation properties of sedatives. So if you are on a sedative, you'd want to be cautious about that. It is going to increase those side effects. Another thing, because it is extracted from a pineapple and other fruits, if you have those types of food allergies, you'd want to be cautious of that. And like we touched on before, bromelain can increase the effectiveness of antibiotics. So that is a good thing, but it's also something that you just need to be aware of. Now it's time to talk Plexus. Let's talk Plexus. There are two products that I have found that have proteolytic enzymes, and you've probably guessed what the one is. So the first product is the Ease. The second product is the PROBIO 5. Now the Ease is specifically for inflammation and swelling and pain. That is what we market it for. That is what this is, a superhero product. It is working on that pain. It's working on that inflammation. Second thing, the PROBIO 5. The PROBIO 5, these proteolytic enzymes are part of the enzyme blend in this that breaks down bad bacteria in our gut. So these both are fantastic products, and to have those proteolytic enzymes in here is genius. It's genius. If you're not familiar with these, get familiar with them. I have done videos on each of these going through the complete breakdown of all the ingredients in them, and I will list them, I will link them in the description box below, so be sure to check those out if you've not watched those before. So thanks again for joining me on a Supplement Sunderday. Hoping you're having a great weekend, having a great day, and that you have learned something after this. So cheers to your health and happiness.